So this Comet is being brought back from the dead, and I say that I say that meaning that we're bringing it back so that we can drive it on the road. It's not a total restoration or anything like that for you $100,000 classic car trailer queen aficionados. And with that being in mind, with that being said, I mean, there are quite a few hacks on this car that are quite comical, and they come from a lifetime of learning from old guys like my dad and old guys like him. And one of the ones that I did today was this door handle. Now this door handle was broken here, and what happened was the threaded piece just basically disintegrated in here. Now you got to understand, this is a 1961, so that puts us at what, 50 whatever years, almost 60 years old. Okay, so the right way to do this would be to go order a new door handle, reproduction door handle, whatever, and take the door apart and put it back on again. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to spend the money. I got other things that I'd rather spend the money on, like the windshield and mechanical aspects of it and so forth and whatever. So this is just going to have to do for what it is. And the way I fix this door handle was another thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to take it apart, because to get to this part here would require a lot of cutting and hacking and what have you, because this was put together in the factory. I don't know how else they did it, but whatever. So the next best step was to drill out this part of it here, and if you notice there's a little that little button thing there. It's not a button, it's actually a bolt. More specifically, it's a toilet bolt that holds a toilet tank flange down. Yeah, and it's brass, and it's the reason I used that was because I found it in the can of bolts I had, and it fit and it was long enough, and that's pretty much it. So I'm not worried about it. It's not perfect. It's kind of a hack, but then again, this door is so hashed with rust and rot and disintegration down in there. I mean, it is just ridiculously hashed. So if you ever wanted to do a proper restoration on this car, this would have to be completely replaced. Not just reskinned, but completely replaced, because under here, this is all rusted out. The skin is coming off. You can see in there that it just separated. So what we're going to do is we're going to hack it and probably just rivet it back together, call it good, and when we get it inspected and get tags on it, you know, if we keep it and, you know, we want to do it proper, we'll do it as we go. But this car has a lot of rust in the lower areas, right around the fenders and what have you, and the floors. I used a patch panel that I cut out. It's a really thick, heavy gauge piece of sheet steel that I basically cut out of an old septic tank from a camper. Yes, that's right. It was an old galvanized septic tank from a camper, and I cut it out, sanded all the rust off of it, and put rusty metal primer on it, and put some self-tapping sheet metal screws in to hold it. And it's not welded in or anything like that. It's just screwed in basically to keep my feet from going to the floor when driving this thing. Again, if we were doing a proper restoration, and I might do this later on as well too, I'm going to probably weld in the proper floor panels that you can get, the replacement floor panels that you can get that are $100+ a piece. But right now I don't want to spend that kind of money. I just want to get this thing on the road, somewhat presentable, running good, and semi-reliable, somewhat reliable. And that's basically it. I'm not worried about perfection or anything like that. This is a long way to go. So anyway, it's my little tidbit for today, and still got a lot of sanding to do and a lot of Bondo to take out. Have a happy Sunday. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.